Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie. Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie.
Alright, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone doing? Hello from North Korea. Bro has a song, WTF. Are you telling me your favourite streamer doesn't have a song? Wow. I mean, imagine streaming and not having your own intro song. Good lord. Can I just get a mic check? 1, 2. Good morning, good morning. Make sure that it's actually on, because Boomer Charlie does tend to forget these things. Or does tend to whiff it from time to time. Having recorded half of an interview once. And left it not recording. That was thoroughly depressing. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Good, good, loud and clear. Excellent. Let's find some more chill piano music, shall we? That's probably the right vibes, isn't it? So how's everyone doing? Good weekends, all that kind of jazz? We all super bullish now? We've had a correction? That was it? Resume up only mode? ETH merge? Blah blah blah. Or is this the path to 7k? Up only. I like it. I like the confidence. Very good, thanks. I'm a greedy bear. Lol the merge. Nice vibes. Send everything to BitBoy. I'm not sure what that means, actually. Send everything to BitBoy. Actually, I can't say anything deflammatory, because I'll get sued for 75k. Let's get BitBoys in the chat. Yeah. Maybe I'll get some BitBoy emojis at some point. If I actually start streaming a little bit more, I think I can get my own little emoji things. Just merged by account balance with a 0. I hope you mean you've added a 0 to the end of it, not in front of it. Tornado everything to BitBoy. I mean, that is that is harsh as shit. You saw people do it with like 0.1 ETH, didn't you? Just tornado to loads of like well-known streamers and stuff, and get their USDT fucked. When beer get docs? Probably never, mate. I'm gonna just LARP as Suzu and just show my freshly cut dad bod at some point. When I actually lose the weight, maybe. Maybe that'll be a goal for like full-on bear market. Well, there's still volatility. There's still things to do. So yeah, let's kick off. Triple bottom. Oof. Don't ruin the fun, mate. Let's see what's happening, shall we? So first off, thanks to Dower Exchange for sponsoring this. We've got a special guest in the form of Jimtalbot, who will be joining us in about 20 minutes, or depending how quickly or slowly I rattle through just an update on stuff from last stream, I guess. What I wanted to do is carry on from sort of where we left off. So I left you guys last week with a load of trade ideas, trade plans, etc. And what I'll do is I'll hold myself accountable to the things that I fucked up and the things that I got right and the things that just didn't happen the way that I thought it might, or trade opportunities that just didn't occur because price and the market did whatever it wanted. I'll go through a couple of other ideas that I've got for the week ahead, but to be honest with you, this week I won't be trading massively, nor will I be trading hugely the week after either, so it's just fucking take profit. Yeah, that's been my attitude, for a long time, cheap hooker strategy. But come September, I'm going to be a lot more active. So yeah, Jim TP Talbot, yes, that's the one. So yeah, last stream I think we talked about some of the divs on BTC. Well, I know we did. We talked about this. We talked about dying momentum. We talked about Renko. We talked about how Renko can be quite useful in terms of just objectively defining momentum or declining momentum. We memed this trade, which would be going okay had you taken it, but obviously Renko isn't perfect for actually timing entries and exits. So if anyone took that and is in it, well done. My bias for BTC hasn't really changed. I would like to see some form of strength. My bias is down, but at the moment I've got no clear signals just to go short on it. What I'm looking for is ideally some form of impulse into a divergence and then to fade for the next leg down and just keep it going. But there's no reason for me to just take a short here. There is nothing actionable for me about this price action. If you missed this, I'm not going to just revenge trade short here and just assume we get the next leg. I'd want to see a move up, div across the highs, and move down. I expect what's more likely is we just consolidate here for a little while. And if we're consolidating, then it's a good time for cheap hooker strategy on alts. And alts that I'm particularly interested in longing, you may have guessed, are CHZ and KNC. i.e., if you look down this list of red, there's only a few little greens, and obviously DXYs doesn't count. You've got Dito in there, you've got ASD, but yeah, CHZ and KNC are probably two that I'm looking to get on board with. So yeah, that's my thought process. I did take a little TRX long this morning, and I round tripped it, which is always good fun. I'll have a good round trip first thing in the morning. But yeah, just to go through sort of the other plans that we went through last week, we talked about some long scenarios. We talked about theta, and we set an alert up here, and the idea was that if we bounce, we close above and we can hold this level, then we'd look for a long. It didn't happen. We wicked into it and just instantly rejected. If you were fast enough, you could have got a short. That's why having alerts and managing them at appropriate times can be very, very good. Let the trades come to you, literally instantly invalidated. What else did we talk about? We talked about ZEC, and we did some meme lines on ZEC, which I have not deleted. Very, very good. Let's go lower time frame. So what I talk about all the time is having levels that you're interested in, and then looking at how price reacts or doesn't react to those levels. So there's no clear signal for me there. Maybe on a lower time frame there might have been a 15-minute div or something. No, nothing actionable. No, nothing actionable, etc., etc. I was away most of last week, but this is where I talk about trade plans, planning for something, and then putting it on your radar via an alert, and then seeing the price action develop. And if you don't get any form of signal, that's fine. That's just part of the game. So basically all of my long thesis were invalidated quite quickly. I think we talked about wanting to get on board SHIB, but I don't think I gave you guys a clear plan with that one. And that was a catch-up beta play, if you remember, because Doge was doing this, SHIB was kind of doing this, and the question would be, do you actually want to do the catch-up play? Which I'm never really a fan of. I prefer playing the number 1 performer as opposed to the number 20 that is, a potential catch-up play based on the whole Dogecoin narrative, even though Dogecoin actually had its own narrative in the form of its own chain, and people were yeeting into that to get their next 50x to recover all their losses from their 80% drawdowns this year. So yeah, I don't think I did anything with SHIB. Obviously, this is all hindsighty on the basis of we've had a fairly aggressive pullback in the market, so potential short setups would have been better. For ETC, we talked about getting a third div and selling off. Didn't happen. Just literally sold off and died. OP was one where we talked about getting short at these levels. Now, a couple of you might remember my tweets this week. I said if you are a massive bull, surely you just draw some imaginary lines and long it. I was actually building a fairly aggressive swing short, and these were like my low time frame entries to building a position. I actually cut a lot of it in this because we got a nice sell-off from the it's all hacked type news event, and it was very, very lucky the way that it played out, but I did manage to hold 25% of my position down to about here. So that thought process, that drawing some levels, looking for basically a flip of said levels, rejection, etc., and just adding and compounding into a downtrend worked out quite nicely. It was the only trade I took out of all of these. RSR, we had a level, we bounced through it, we actually held above it for a little period. Again, you could have shorted the flip of it, but I didn't. And Rune, we talked about diagonal memes, and yeah, that would have been a semi-reasonable trade if you could have managed this. Which is why I like to scale into short positions generally, because when you are playing with alts, if you just jump immediately into a full-size position, it can go against you quite quickly. But yes, what's the background music? It is just some chilled piano vibes. That's it. So I thought that would be semi-interesting, not to suck myself off because I only took one trade and it worked out quite nicely on OP, but just to give you guys an overview of how I look at markets, how I plan for the trades, how I will take trades as and when they occur, and how I'm trying to be a little bit more selective in both the trades that I take, but also the alerts that I'm setting and the time I'm taking at the PC at the moment, which isn't that much. Did you see Leon Edwards fight? No. CMM versus TMM, which journaling tool? I'm using, what's it called? Trader Make Money, that's what I'm using at the moment. I don't really think there's much difference, to be honest. But it works for me, and it's nice. I get all of my friends, 2 people, to say good morning back to me because of you, Charlie. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, everyone loves a good GM. How do I build a scale into positions? So essentially, like this is where, I mean, I'll go through. I'll show you the ones that are on the screen just because they're there. And what you'll notice is that I get stopped out of this one. So I treat every ad as like an individual trade. I got very, very lucky on this one up here, where I was literally just trying to build a position. That wasn't my perfect entry. It was down here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's take this crap off, shall we? So on this initial sell off here, I was trying to scale in, and essentially got a little bit fucked and averaged it down. So my average was, somewhere around here with just a stop at these highs. Again, got very, very lucky that it just literally sold off. And I was like, okay, well, we've lost this level here, which is a much higher time frame level. Which was this. So, okay, we've lost that. I'm going to assume continuation, and I'm going to keep just adding and building. But each time I add, it is a separate trade on the basis of, like, I want to swing this. Good lord, this is horrific in terms of me scrolling through. So I'm quite happy to take small L's like this. Like I took that L there, right? Quite happy to take that, even though, it was only a relatively small move beyond it. I don't just want to blindly hold and just round trip, because that's kind of, round trip all that. It could happen, it does happen. If you look at things like sell, it happens several times. So just building into simple things, like even if it's changes in market structure, if it's, where you've got some clear invalidation, you can see my meme little, I don't even know what that's called. Ascending wedge? I don't know. Where we fake above it, and then we break down. So meme diagonals, I added somewhere in this as well. Building into position, and then like I said, I exited a fair bit on down here, and that was because of the rumours of the the hack, where they quote unquote distributed a load of OP, and everyone massively panicked. So that was fine by me. Actually, it was in this side, but that was it. And the reason that I scale into shorts, like I said at the start, unless I've got a really strong thesis or very clear high time frame invalidation, and generally I like fading. The only trades I'll take where I'm full size instantly are the euphoric trades, where you get something like this and you're fading that. And I don't try and fade the peak of that. I try and start building in there, and then your first stop is there and your second stop is there. So you're scaling out, and any form of strength you're very, very quick to cut. So that's how I broadly manage shorts. And particularly because with alts, if Bitcoin starts catching, basically if Bitcoin ranges or it starts catching a bid, then you're probably going to get fucked on the short side. So you have to be very, very quick to take profit and to manage your position sizing. Does that make sense? I hope I've answered it for you. Thanks, poor Daffy. If you like the stuff, just hit follow and you'll hear the wonderful voice of Michael Saylor. I think. As long as my alerts are on. Let's see if he's there.
There is no second best.
Yeah, so that's kind of it. And I haven't had a huge amount of time with the PC, like I said.
There is no second best.
So since ADA is still in the garbage going to zero, I should hold the short open for a long time.
There is no second best.
I mean,
there is no second
I
best
didn't do the disclosure,
but
but nothing in this stream is financial advice.
There is no
It's for
second best
educational
crypto
purposes
asset.
only and all that kind of wonderful stuff, right? You all know that. Yeah. But I rather like the notion of ADA going to zero. But as I said on another stream, I'm the one sat here trading a 5-minute or 1-minute chart, and Mr. Charles Hoskins is on his farm quite happily rearing chickens and doing whatever else. So really, I mean, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look particularly terrible. Like, it kind of looks like it's in an
There is no
accumulation
second best.
range.
There's no second best
But
crypto
given the
asset.
context of the market, I'm not just going to be blind bidding this for a little move up. And given its consistent lack of strength, I guess it's mid-tier, but generally it lacks strength. Oh, it's going to completely prove me wrong. Guess when I ate my lunch about 20 minutes ago. But yeah, it's rarely one of the strong
There is no
performers.
second best.
And
There's
if
no second
anything,
best
it's
crypto
been
asset.
quite low beta in terms of its performance in the last few weeks, months. Doesn't mean it can't go on a run, just means that I personally dislike it, and I would love to fade it to 0 again. It's given me some good shorts actually. I think I've taken a couple of longs as well, but they've been very low time frame scalps. You know, it's just not really doing anything interesting.
There is no second best. There's no second best crypto
Pretty
asset.
div. So most alts had this div here from a 4-hour perspective, and some of them had it with AO as well, and that would have been, you know, a nice small bounce. But the fact that we only got this as a bounce from some, you know, fairly clean divs, I'm trying to remember which ones were the cleanest, it sort of tells me that the market is pretty weak. So from a bias perspective, I would say continuation down, but equally Bitcoin ranging is a possibility. Whereas a strong long bounce, I don't want to overly position myself for. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, I think. Sailor cannot be turned down, only up. Can you turn the Sailor volume down? No, Sailor, look, he is more important than I am, right? I actually don't think I can turn the volume down while I'm streaming live, like, genuinely. It's the noise. No, actually, I could just say that you're all going insane. You're all going insane. There is no Sailor, what are you on about? Yeah, Sailor cannot be muted. No, it's every time someone follows the stream, Sailor says, there is no second best. Let Sailor out of my head. I think it's going to be the first time that everyone watching the stream follows it, just to hear Sailor and just to annoy a couple of people. That's how troll everyone is. So, what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, or the next few days in particular, is basically try to get long CHZ. And I was talking about this earlier, that I'm in and out. So when I say I want to get long CHZ, what I'm not doing, just to be very fucking clear, is doing this and going, right, I'm gonna say that's a 4-hour market structure that looks okay, right? This is just a higher low. Okay, what's a reasonable target for this? Yeah, okay, well we'll easily go for these highs or this up here. Yeah, let's do that. Lovely 6-hour trade, easy as peas. No. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm literally doing the exact same thing as I was doing with OP and saying, okay, well, I've got a nice little potential setup here. I will add a position and I'll take that, and what I will be doing is managing that position and saying, okay, well, I'll take some off so that my average, essentially, including the take profit, is sort of down here. I will then wait for potentially another retest, add more size, etc., or wait for it to do something like this, consolidate, go retest the 50 on RSI, and just try and keep longing it until CHZ becomes an asset that isn't in play, isn't strong trending up, or Bitcoin loses a level, or something of that ilk, right? So I'm not sat here trying to swing everything for the next stage of the big bull run. But to me, the 3 assets that stood out this morning were CHZ, KNC, and TRX, and of course, dipshit over here, longs TRX, off essentially a 5-minute div, and just round tripped it. So I took a position in here, got a pop, didn't take anything off, and just let it bleed out essentially. So hooray for me. Am I short on TRB? Going to unfollow and follow again. I'm not sure if that works, but I'm sure everyone else in the chat will thank you wonderfully for doing that.
There is no second best. There is no
But yeah, I mean it's 3 minutes to 3, and I've really got no huge amount of other stuff to go through, because yeah, largely I don't have that huge convictional bias. We're not trading at any extremes. I was fairly happy with last stream in the way that we talked about this. We talked about these levels. We set some alerts for potential entry areas. We talked about quite a lot, I think. And for me, Bitcoin just isn't in that same position. So if I start doing a daily momentum like review, that's kind of playing out. The downside momentum for the 12-hour, nothing actionable, just consolidating. 4-hour, again, nothing actionable. It's just consistent ranging. So if you want to start taking trades and just play end to end of range, then do that. Personally, I'd love to see a move up, rejection, and start getting short for potentially next leg down, or vice versa, under, over, move up. Like nothing complex, nothing overly difficult, but don't diddle in the middle, as they say. So I'm gonna drop Jim a little massage. I'll see if he's ready to join us. See what his view is.
Hey man.
Hey man, how's it going? You are live on Charlie TV, so please no swearing, no no take profit.
I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah mate, I'm good. We're just saying that I don't have a hugely convincing read on the next move, and that for BTC I'm kind of waiting for it to move to some form of extreme to actually potentially take a position.
Yeah, same. It's boring.
Yeah.
I'm flat now. I had a couple of really nice trades last week. I caught a good chunk of the short down, and then I caught like a nice 6% bounce over the weekend on ETH.
Oh, nice.
I got in at like 15.35, got out like, I don't know, 16.20 something. I think it was like 5.5%, 6%, something like that.
Lovely. Yeah,
Which is nice on a weekend.
Yeah, that's happy days. So you,
But I'm ideally I want to get long. I want to get long on Bitcoin below 2,500, 25.35 is the level I got marked. But it looks like this might be the sort of temporary low for now.
Yeah, I was saying that my bias is probably arranging BTC after this move, but I can see, like, I'm probably like 10% it'll bounce, 50% it'll just range for a little bit and cool off after the sell-off, and then 40% trend continuation.
Yeah.
But
So
impossible to position, or not impossible, obviously do what you fucking want, but like I can't position like here.
if it had taken out these sort of equal-ish lows this morning into like 20.5, I'd have got long, because one of my favourite trades is if we get sort of a trendy type move directly off a weak open. I usually like to fade those moves because it's usually, you usually get two-way trading either side of the week open. So if you get a nice flush that takes the stops right at the start of a week, it's usually nice to fade that at least back to the open. But I think it's front run me. So now I'm sort of, I'd happily short anything up to 22.8, fill in that sort of 30-minute down candle.
Yeah.
And then so basically I'd take a trade 20,500 up to, let's say, 22.5 22.2, I'd take that, or I'd take a short anywhere between 22.2 and 22.8 down to where I wanted to initially long. But anywhere in between, I'm just gonna let it do its thing.
Yeah. So how do you manage that? Do you do that with alerts? Do you like sit and just check the phone every couple of minutes, or what are you doing?
I set alerts and then check my phone anyway.
The classic addict.
Yeah, because I've got nothing else. I've got nothing else to do in my sad life.
Oh man, don't say that.
So usually I'm on my phone watching the alert go off in my hand.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You're like planning for it so that you can spend your time doing other things, and then you end up just watching it anyway.
Yeah, making sure it goes off.
Yeah, I tweeted the other day that, and it was a real world example of if you want to check the price of Bitcoin, just pretend you're taking a photo of your wife and just tell her to move a couple of times because of the light. No, to the left. No, face me, and I'm actually just sat there checking price. Is price good? No camera in sight, and then it's like, yeah, back to where you were. Perfect. Not that we're addicted to price action or anything like that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, and especially like I've had a few weeks of barely doing anything, to be fair, and I sort of made a conscious effort last week to put some screen time in and actually force myself to take trades, because I've been leaving loads of trades that just aren't really like good trade, like great, just like the nice easy trades.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing. So I've been forcing myself to take a few more setups that I've been leaving on the table, and I've got a little small profit target just to get me clicking buttons again and get me, a bit more in the flow of the market.
Yeah, but I mean that's like anything, right? Like if you stop doing it, you lose your muscle memory. Like when we tried to play CS, do you know what I mean? It's like you play that after not playing for a couple of years, and it's just like I don't know.
Garbage. Yeah.
I don't see why it's any different with trading in terms of you do get into the flow of the market, and it's more difficult, I think, when you try and balance real life, or at least I'm finding it more difficult in terms of the last few weeks. I've spent a lot less time at the PC and a lot less time in front of the charts, and whilst I'm just implementing a simple system, etc., like you still feel like you're not as in tune.
Yeah.
Because I would have taken quite a few more trades had I been here, the alerts hit, and so on and so forth. But I mean, I don't need to take them, but it certainly, I guess, impacts your ability to just go, well, here's 100 things that I've done in the last week, because really, the best thing I did was short OP, and that's it. It's like...
Yeah, and for me, I think a huge proponent of my trading, and the reason I have these like streaks of being really good is like the market has a general cadence, like it has a heart rate almost, like, and it fluctuates through periods. And I like to get screen time in so that I can sort of sit into the cadence of the market so that I'm in the same sort of pace and rhythm of it. And then you find that you just catch the rotations sort of empathically, almost, like where you just sort of match in stride with the market. It sounds kind of weird, but
no, I completely get it. I mean, because when I'm aggressively scalping altcoins, like I need to be so in the zone to be catching these rotations, right? To be catching these like 5% moves either way, you need to be pretty confident that you're close to a bottom or a top.
Yeah.
And if I'm not well slept, well fed and watered, and at least in the zone with the market in terms of being able to keep on top of what BTC is doing, as well as whatever my alt's doing, as well as whatever other positions I've got on, and whatever else is going on in terms of like group, live, Twitter, blah blah blah, because you got a shit post, right? You can't just trade.
Yeah.
You have to shit post.
But right now, like the way I'm looking at it, there's enough people I'm seeing that are bearish here, and I've just seen there's enough positive data for me to counter trade that. I'm seeing enough in it to where I want to take the other side of that trade. I think the general consensus is too heavily skewed to the downside from here, and there's just enough data that's contradicting that for me to where I want to be contrarian in my next trade. Like 4 hour on the ETH, I think looks like it could at least bounce to like 1750, in my opinion. And I kind of want to catch that trade. It's just a shame how they left the lows like that, really. But you know what I might do before I get aggressive later, I might wait for this chop to finish and then maybe look for a weak open reclaim continuation. And there's like a cluster of EMAs at like 1740, 1750 that I think would be a nice target as like a backside retest, maybe to confirm the downtrend. It's kind of what I'm looking at, really. So I've got like the 50 and the 100 on.
So you want to get long, but you're a bear, Jim. Surely you only press the red button. Surely.
Yeah. Well, I'm a contrarian at heart, really, and most people are usually bullish, which makes me bearish by proxy, really.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I suppose that's a much better way of describing you. It's a contrarian as opposed to I'm just going to be bearish for the purpose of being bearish. It's generally just to say, hang on, lads.
What are you guys missing? Is kind of my thought process. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. But the thing I've been contemplating over the last week or so, especially as I've been getting back into the flow of the market that's moving, I think after every rally and distribution, because that's what we're getting. Like, let's not beat around the bush. It's not exactly a new bull trend, in my opinion.
No.
I think we're getting to the stage in the market where after every rally and distribution, I think more large participants are basically exiting. And I kind of feel as though we're getting to that stage now where each time we distribute and drop, the volatility is not going to get that continuation like we used to. I think because the big players are just leaving en masse. You see it in the order flow. It's a lot of, there's not many heavy hitters doing anything. So I kind of think after each drop, we're going to just see extended low volatility periods, sadly. And I think it's just going to be, take what you can when you can. Don't, shorten those targets, I think, sadly. It just feels like we're petering out into that point where it's just going to be, boring.
Well, there was like an hour and a half earlier where I was looking at spaghetti and I was just like, I wasn't trying to force trades, that's probably the wrong language, but I've been quite like active today because obviously stream and various other things, and there was literally an hour long period where my entire spaghetti was basically in like a 1% range, and I was like, fuck me, no, don't do this to me. This is, there's not even one altcoin that was moving more than 1%. It's like,
yeah, this is it. I like higher time frame. My bias is still to the downside because I just don't think there's going to be. I don't think there's going to be anything noteworthy enough to where there's going to be sustained buying happen for quite a long period still. But I just think the speed and the volatility in which those moves happens now might start to slow down quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I'd love to catch some big, liquid moves. But I just don't think there's the size players in the market currently to instigate those kind of moves.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And someone in the chat just said time capitulation phase, like Pentoshi said, coming soon. And I referenced that a few streams ago and said I love that notion of price capitulation in terms of it just going essentially vertically down, and then time capitulation horizontally across, where people are just fucking bored of crypto. And it's not like it's just going to keep dumping. It's not going to just dump to like $300 a Bitcoin or anything like that. It will just sit in range at like 12k for fucking a year. And then everyone will be pulling their hair out, and then you'll probably have an actual capitulation event like a year down the line, where it goes from 12 to like 7k or something stupid in a day, and then that's it. That's the flush before new slow grind start of uptrend. Yeah.
And that's usually the move that instigates people into shorting. They've basically missed out on shorting the entire bear market, and then as soon as they get that, like, it's over candle,
right, that's
piling in. they start piling in on the shorts all the way up, and that's what fuels a new move, because that's what you need. It's not what we haven't got the short interest in the market to have any significant upside at the minute. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just quite boring. But I think I said that almost like back in November. Actually, the time like the best way to capitulate crypto traders is boring, because we're all here for volatility. Like let's call it out. That's all we care about.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? We want it to move. If it doesn't move, that's the real bear market, in my
Yeah.
opinion. If you're struggling with shorting, just invert the chart. Like, there's no literally alt and I done.
Yeah.
Like,
But we're getting to that stage. I'm starting to notice it, where I'm starting to get like PTSD of previous bear cycles, where unless you're like you go take a shit at the wrong time and you've missed the day's move, and then it's back to nothingness, and it feels like we're in that stage now, where you'll get one whipsaw that takes out all the stops, and then that'll be it. You'll plan for continuation. It'll just do nothing for the rest of the day. Adult nappies fix this. Yeah, that's a good plan. Maybe we need to long adult nappies. That's the trade.
Yeah, because what is it? Burry sold all of his shares apart from, was it like a adult prison and mental health like company?
Interesting. That guy knows what's coming. Everyone bad mouths him until it happens, and then everyone will be like, "Oh, fuck's sake, listen."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, adult nappies, all in adult nappies and mental health well-being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember.
Hopefully,
Oh, go on.
sorry, I was going to say hopefully the first 2 weeks of September you might see like a pickup in activity. Usually, what happens. I'm just not sure it's going to last long.
Yeah, same. Jim.
But that's kind of why I'm sharpening up now, ready for 2 or 3 weeks of good trading. I'm hoping.
Yeah, and I think that's it, isn't it? It's going to just be if it's moving, you kind of need to be playing, because guarantee the next couple of days afterwards that's kind of your lot.
Yeah.
You either catch the move or you don't, and that's probably a week. Which it has its pluses and minuses, to be fair. I just remember the times of like, perhaps it was because I was not as great as I am now, obviously, because I was trading BTC and now I trade altcoins more. So they offer a lot more volatility generally, but like there'd be weeks where, I don't know, you'd be sat at the computer for basically the best part of a week and you'd finish break even, or maybe down a little bit, and it would be like most of that was just from fees. Like, it's like, oh. But then if I what was it? What was the tweet the other day? I just mark it in and get rebates. Fucking hell. Tell me you don't trade.
That's hilarious.
That was brilliant. Some people, man. Some fucking
I can't believe he made the mistake of following me. He literally unfollowed everyone after I replied. Absolute legend.
I love that you just, through your contrarian personality, you just don't give a fuck.
Nah, shit on him. Shit on him when they're down.
Yeah, I wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire, mate. Let's go. Fucking, who cares? So someone in the chat asked, should they be buying a crib, which I assume means house?
No, I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't, like the way the timeline of events that I have in my head, and I've said this since November, and it's playing out pretty much as I've said. I'm not going to I'm going to blow smoke up my own arse a little bit, but only to caveat what my next sort of thought process is. I believe that there's mass surplus of, like, I think there's so much disposable employment built up over the last 2 or 3 years of people that just aren't necessary. And I think what you're going to see is, as demand dries up, these big tech companies, anyone selling anything, they're obviously going to have to reduce prices in order to entice buyers again. And with those reductions, I think there's going to be mass layoffs of, I mean, you're seeing these TikToks going around now where, guys are eating fucking donuts and like having like, you know what I mean? Like what they're doing, the big part of the day's making a latte.
Bar, and then they have their vegan
these guys are screwed because they are completely surplus to requirement in the right environment. And I think then the spill out from that will be mass defaults. You're already seeing a decline in mortgage lending, like a big decline, noticeable decline. And I think that's going to continue as rates increase. And then you're going to get layoffs because demand dries up. And then those people that got laid off that bought houses in the boom, they're going to default. And it's just going to be a ripple effect. Like every other recession, like this is the thing. People are trying to outsmart it and think of alternative scenarios, but it's an age-old thing. It plays out the same every time. You can't have you can't just have progressive growth. We always go too far and then overcorrect. It ebbs and flows, and we're in the nasty part of it now, and you just got to let it play out. So I would wait. To be honest, I think it could be a few years personally, but I would wait, especially at least until winter's over.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things, isn't it, in terms of energy, and everyone's so concerned about that. And to be fair, I mean, I got an energy bill, I think it was last week. They were like, "Here's your new price." I was like, "Fuck me, okay."
No, I'll be honest. I'm fortunate to a degree that I've stopped looking at what I'm paying because I don't want to see. I just let it go out. I just don't even want to look at it anymore. Just getting fleeced every month.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, right, how can I put this through my business?
Yeah.
That's it. Offset this. Fucking try and get a bit.
I just think there's so many unnecessary jobs come out of this boom. I think we're going to go back to a full reset where that's concerned. Sadly, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be brutal. I think it's going to be a brutal period over the next 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, we already started seeing that in terms of tech companies. Were one of the first to start laying off people, weren't they? And that's largely because they were, I guess, the most inflated bubble.
Yeah. I also think that'll be the next stage of the crypto bear market in a sense, because I think there's a lot of surplus, overpaid people in crypto that don't really have any value in a bear market. Their value is in a bull market.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also a huge level of. I mean, look at Dogechain. I was chatting about this on last stream in the sense of the sheer number of coins. The sheer fucking number of them that were being spun up every hour. You got 10, 20, 30, 40 new coins. Like, Christ almighty. That's a lot. That's a lot of places for liquidity to be distributed, right? It's scary that it's still that frothy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If this was true bear market, there'd only be a couple of people with those skill sets left, right, that could actually whip up a contract every 2 minutes. People wouldn't be trying to drain the last shekels out of the market with scams, because it wouldn't be working, because there's not enough people the other side to be falling victim to it.
Yeah.
Whereas they are, and it's happening.
I think one of the issues I have with crypto is I think the smartest minds in crypto are completely morons. I think 95% of the people deemed intelligent in this space are complete idiots.
So what's your criteria then, I guess, or who is an intellectual crypto, legend who's admired by the community?
I just think the people that realise what it is that moves markets, fuels markets, there's so many just morons, dense people, I think it's naivety that I find stupid. It just seems so obvious to me, the path that we're on and what's going to happen over the next 12 months. It just blows my mind that people are so oblivious to it. It's no one ever sees it until it's over.
Yeah, no, it's true. So you, I guess, respect people more like, I don't know, GCR, who has a holistic view of markets, psychology, etc., and can short, not necessarily the pico top, but can go max conviction and can go, right,
Yeah.
this is going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's pretty fucking, soon. And
Yeah.
then 3 weeks later, he's heavily in profit
Yeah.
and has read the market. Because the tech doesn't really change. I think that's one thing that people always... I had a DM from someone, like, are you bullish on these projects? It's like, yes, I still think those are good projects. I still like what they are building. But in these conditions, it's quite hard for me to say, yeah, mate, all in. Go all in. Like,
Yeah.
I've got bags of a couple of things that I like, or that give me benefits, e.g. FTT or something that, reduces your fees, your trading fees. Does it mean I think FTT is going to go to $1 million tomorrow? Absolutely not. Like,
Yeah. This is the thing, like being bullish on a project and a project being good doesn't equate to that token going up in value. It's like this merge trade. Like, yeah, is the merge bullish? I'm not 100% sure because I'm not, I'm not fully in the know. Let's say hypothetically it is bullish. Does that mean it should equate to an increase in value instantly? Like, probably not. Does it make it harder for the value to go down based on the structure of the merge? Maybe. But does it mean that does it mean that ETH's worth more than $1,000? I think it's debatable. Like, is ETH as valuable as a product at $100 as it is at $1,500? That's the question that people need to ask. Like, I'm not saying it's going to $100, but I'm saying that it at least. Whoa, what's that shit in the bed on your spaghetti?
it's okay.
I'm saying, your user, ETH's usability isn't going to be affected based on its token price, really, unless it goes up in value. Then it actually becomes pretty unusable, which is ironic.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how good a project is. I like ETH personally. As far as like usability goes and like use case and users and what's really the sort of currency of the internet. I think ETH has a decent argument as far as its mass appeal, but I'm not buying it here based on that.
Yeah, 100%, and that's the differential, isn't it? You can be bullish on it, but you don't have to buy it. You don't have to, and you can just use a chart and say, "Yeah, this looks alright. I'll buy some of that. Happy days."
I said it last time I came on your stream though. I wouldn't be surprised if ETH had outperformed a Megapunt on this merge just in time for it to get labelled as a security and it has the major rug. I really could see that coming into fruition because it is a security.
Write that in the script. Come on.
It is a
Come on.
Let's not beat around the bush. ETH is a security. I don't think it's an opinion. I think it is a security, right?
Why?
They raised with the incentive of people making money on the token's appreciation in value. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So ETH is a security. Anyway.
Hot take. Where can we bet on that specifically?
Killed the stream.
No, not at all.
You still there, Charlie?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, I think my Discord might
That's
just...
all right. I thought Vitalik had docked.
Yeah, that's it. Better taking me down.
Stream.
Yeah, well, Vitalik's taking me down because you're saying it's a security. Quick, will be cited as evidence in the Fed case.
Yeah.
On this stream, on the 22nd of August. Yeah, I mean something like that hitting the market would be quite devastating.
Imagine the ripple effect across DeFi and alts and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a nice short if you catch it.
don't rule it out. I personally think anyone that's bought ETH over $1,000 is going to look back in 12 months and regret it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sentiment. It cannot go back to previous range or that kind of stuff, and it's like, of course it fucking can. Like, tell me you've never traded a market like crypto without telling me. Like, it can go to zero. Like, literally, it can all go to fucking zero. Like, that's why I always bang on about, like, counterparty and exchange risk, as well as just, you know, general price. Because in theory, like, yeah, what you've said, if that happened, it would be fucking devastating. That would
Oh,
be.
mate. It'd be the candle of doom. It'd be the most like legendary candle.
Yeah, that would be a 19th of May 2021 type.
It'd be interesting to see.
Whoosh.
It'd actually be interesting to see what Bitcoin did during that. Whether you stop massive rotation as opposed to selling. Whether Bitcoin outperformed, it would outperform, but it'd be it'd be very interesting.
As in, would there be a rush? Because, I mean, there is one thing that, like, in a potential hyperinflationary world, you know, in a recession environment as well, like, that there is a very small chance that the old inflation hedge narrative prevails, but, I mean, look at the fucking chart, right? there is no way that narrative is playing out right now.
That's ludicrous.
It's a shame for me. I keep banging on about it, about two things. The fact that hasn't played out, and the fact that the correlation is now so tied in with traditional finance that it's a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
In terms of, it was nice when it was an asset that just traded off, you know, whether fucking Elon tweets about it or is bullish on it. I know there was always like a macro correlation in terms of risk on, risk off, but it didn't seem as like intraday correlated as it now is, or maybe that's just my naivety from 2 years ago or whatever it was.
It'd be fascinating to see how it would have played out differently if people weren't so focused on playing altcoins. If all that money was centered on Bitcoin during this period, it'd be quite interesting. It'd be quite interesting just to see how the narrative would have played out differently.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, the altcoins are essentially dilutive for BTC in terms of like, yeah, you're right. If everything was just, if this was a pure Bitcoin, like crypto was just BTC, like it would be so much higher, wouldn't it? Because the pure Ponzi, like what have we got on ETH? We got like $2 billion of volume today on ETH perp on FTX alone. Like, yeah, I think if you never had any altcoins, like Bitcoin would probably be something ridiculous. And this is part of my like, not bearishness, but probably a reality check on like another potential run. So if we do, or when we get the next bull run, because let's face it, people are fucking greedy. People will probably come back to crypto in terms of, okay, I remember when the Dogecoin went 2 billion X. Maybe that's how I can, you know, make it, quote unquote. That it's going to be so much fucking harder, because what have we got now? Like 20,000 alts on CoinMarketCap? Like...
Well, this is it. I made a bit of a meme tweet, but it was, you know, there was a lot of, you know, it was like trying to provoke some thought that, like, if Bitcoin's so cheap at current prices, why is everyone buying altcoins? And I think you can use that thought, like, in the future, because I think a good indication that we've reached some sort of bottom is when you see Bitcoin's strength relative to altcoins again and dominance increase, because that means that Bitcoin's at a price people are prepared to pay for it again, like mass amount of people as opposed to, you know, the wealthier set.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, Bitcoin dominance, to be fair, is probably one chart that I massively underuse.
I don't use it personally, but you know, you can see. I don't think you really need to necessarily look at DOM to know when it's, you know, stronger.
No, I mean, I see it in terms of spaghetti, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see that every day. If Bitcoin is the one that's essentially draining liquidity from everything else, and others are all doing this, then that's a what the fuck moment, to be honest, and that'll stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. No, we've just been inundated with people joining crypto to make generational wealth, really, which is fine. But it happens every cycle. That's how it stops, and then it takes a long time to fish, wean those people back out of the market until it's something that you actually want to own it again.
Yeah. Someone's just Gawapa has just said if Bitcoin had the entire market cap of crypto right now, it'd be at 51k.
Yeah. Interesting.
That is quite interesting on the basis of like we're talking about proxies and
Yeah.
it just makes you realise like how much we've shrunk as a market.
Yeah.
And how much fucking froth was in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Web3's a meme, there's no second best, it's all just narrative. Yeah, it is all just narrative.
Everything's really doesn't matter.
Well, it's all speculation. Like, I think I've bored people with it before that I was an accountant, and when I came to this space, I started doing like discounted cash flow analysis on altcoins, and I can tell you that like if you do anything like that on pretty much any protocol or anything, even if they've got reasonable revenue generation, the speculative premium is like well over 90% of their value, like well over. And up to the top of the alt bull run, it would have been like 99.9%. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way to quantify absurdity with logic and those kind of rational valuation metrics. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Are you guys bullish on oil stocks? Minus 2 trillion. Hello, Swiss.
Bullish. I don't look at oil.
Yeah,
So.
I don't either. I trade shitcoins. I press red and green buttons on magical internet coins.
Yeah, that's all I do.
It's quite a... Is that your Tinder bio?
Yeah.
I press red and green buttons all day.
Yeah.
What do you think of the dollar then, Jim?
I don't know. I don't even care really, to be honest.
I don't give a fuck. Fair enough.
I don't. Like, it's gone up. Keeps going up. I probably should care, but I don't. I don't. We could do it once a week. Is it going to make me poor somehow? Probably. But what can I do to stop it? After all.
Yeah. I mean, unironically, it's been a really good thing for me. It's the trade I never meant to take, right? Like, you cash out your crypto into USD or USDT or USDC, and it's just appreciated versus the pound quite nicely over the past however long.
Yeah. I got no real reason to look at it.
Yeah, that's fair. Makes you guys sound special? What? What makes us sound special?
Probably being a DXY analyst.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is it. People that do technical analysis on DXY just fucking leave it in the drafts, man. Like, seriously. This is why I don't talk about the DXY, because I know that there's so much involved in why the DXY is doing what it's doing, and I just haven't got the time or the effort or the energy to understand the dynamics of what it's doing. And I'm certainly, not going to boil it down to it hugging a 50 EMA or something, like, it's funny.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I mean, I just trade off spaghetti quite a lot, as you well know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a bad reference point to glance at to say that, it's essentially crushing all other currencies, and that actually holding dollar-denominated stable coins has been quite a nice trade. Although how the fuck I account for that in my tax return, I'll just make a number up, I guess. That's what I tend to do.
I just wait for my timeline to get a bit silly, and then I get to my screens. That's all I do now.
Yeah. Someone's asked if you've got any investments. I mean, you've got a fair bit of like silver and gold, haven't you, Jim?
Yeah. Which is doing terribly. It's kind of my end of the world investment now.
Your end of the world, as in you're going to have to barter for like not being killed. with your
Yeah,
silver
I'm
coins.
thinking I'm gonna have to like trade for food kind of thing. That's why I hold metals. I hold metals on the like the off chance that it's complete global economic meltdown. Um, that's why I buy it, and the coins are kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Just a bit of diversification. I think it's probably just all cope that I'm saying that. To be honest, I think if it had gone up, I think if silver was at 60 right now, I'd be saying something else, but it's not. So
so you're essentially trying to just have some form of hedge.
justify. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically, I
But
think it's good to have. I like for me personally, like just some hypothetical thoughts that I have regarding bank insolvencies, bank runs. You're seeing it in other countries. Why can't that spill over to Western civilization? I think it's good. I think it's I don't think it's crazy prospect personally. So in that scenario, I think having hard cash, hard money, might fare you well. That's why I buy it personally.
yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. Like, the chances are, you always think it's zero, but it's not. It's always greater than zero. It might be less than 1%, but there's still a fucking chance, right? How many people play the lottery with the same odds, basically? Like, oh, I'll play the lottery, but this will never happen to me. Like, what? Are you fucking retarded? Like, you're literally betting on one extreme circumstance it happen, and you're quite happy to part money for that. And on the same vein, you're not protecting yourself against it. Like, when it's negative, it's that whole gambler's fallacy, I can win type shit, isn't it? But yeah, TLB's fucking insane, boys. What was that? That is the definition of up only.
So ugly as well, isn't it? Such ugly price action.
Yeah, I mean, like, good luck holding
It's
a position
so
with that.
like that is one person doing that, and anyone that jumps in and rides it is on a ticking time bomb to despair. Because once they're done squeezing it, you better have taken profits.
Yeah.
It's so obvious when it's one person just bullying the books and squeezing everyone. You see from the wicks, and
That's fucking mad.
obvious. It's so mechanical in nature. Like it's just one. It's probably just fucking Sam. Yeah, I love it. I see you say that. Someone said at the same time in the chat. Oh, I can't believe I missed it. I only saw it today, and it's an absolute golden tweet. Hasaka tweeted it a few days ago of the crypto circle joke. Did you see it?
Probably, but
let me send to you on Discord, because it is just. This is why I love Hasaka. Even though he's got a massive following, he doesn't mind saying it how it is. A lot of people, they refrain from being honest so as to keep the status quo. But that is just so fucking brilliant. It's so true. It's so true. Savage. Absolutely savage.
Me laughing at that goes any sort of
Honestly, just unreal.
My God.
It is the truth. Like FTX's sort of market share over the last 2 years, it's like made it such a less enjoyable place to trade, etc. It's so much. It feels like it's it doesn't feel like, what's the word? A free market. It's never felt so far removed from being a free market as when FTX took such a market share.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I mean, like, you can say what you want about the FTX guys and girls, but they are fucking smart quants, and there is no way that they are not absolutely, destroying us hand over fist, like, front running our orders and blah blah blah, and probably controlling a vast proportion of this market.
Yeah,
like
it's sad. It's sad, to be honest. I miss the days when the market was a real free for all.
Effective altruism.
Yeah,
really
that's the reason I felt passionate about crypto in the first place. Is regardless of whether it had any real use case or materialized as any real use case, that period where there was like hope for it materializing into something separate from the sort of, the mass economic structure was exciting. It feels like it's somewhat died over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes back. Maybe we'll get to a point where it reverts back to being that independent market. That'd be cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, that would be good. I mean, that's what I kind of low-key wanted this space to become, but not to be sat on my like fundamental and cyberpunk high horse. Do you know what I mean? It's it's just that would be nice, and it would also give us a lot of volatility. I'm just zooming in on the TRB chart. It's like, what the fuck? It's 7.7% on a 1 minute candle. Just like, look at it. Look at it.
It probably took a $300 order to trigger the stops for that. That's what's funny.
Yeah, true.
It probably just hit the fucking stops, and
That's
MM just said yoink. That's what's funny about this market.
Yeah, I love that. Jesus Christ. Are any of you guys in chat trading this? Because if you are, use my ref link.
I wish I had the balls.
Wish you had the balls. Should I do like a challenge account with like $100?
I wish I had the balls to just ape these fucking shit coins, but it just doesn't meet my risk tolerance. Like, it's just nonsensical to me. I just can't rationalise
this,
it.
Apparently.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. He's a fucking filth bag.
So now we know who is printing these fucking wicks. It's fucking CBS. Look at him. Look at him, filthy bastard.
I love CBS because he's both a brilliant risk manager and great trader and a complete degenerate.
Yeah. He
You
messaged
can
me the
literally
other day.
do both.
He messaged me the other day and was like, "What are you using for Doge Chain?" I was like, "Oh my god, CBS, no, not Doge Chain. Don't do it. Don't do it."
He's so good at just aping when it needs to be aped.
Yeah.
It's something I'd like to do better at, to be honest.
What?
It'd be good.
Aping generally, or just playing strength, or?
Yeah, I suppose both in a sense. I mean, very much
because there are two levels, aren't there? There's longing TRB when it's like in a liquid up only piece of shit, and then there's putting money on Doge Chain, which is like highly experimental, super full of rugs, but potential 50x's. Like,
yeah, and I'd probably do well at it. I just can't get past that mental block of, I don't know. I'm a control freak. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I like to feel like I'm in control.
I mean,
even in the markets, the market, but
yeah, and we just saw the circle jerk, and I didn't see Jimtalbot's name on it.
What was that time frame you just went on where it was just like all green candles? Was that the daily?
For 3 days.
3 days.
Up only.
Look at that! Oh my god, that's funny.
Look, and if I zoom like this, hang on, we go 100% hit rate indicator. Lovely.
Wow, look at the fucking... Wow, that's a great signal.
Fucking,
especially with the AO flip. Wow.
It's fucking mad, isn't it? The whole thing is just...
That's funny. What is TRB?
I actually own some of this from like fucking 10 cents or some shit years and years ago.
Oh.
It's an oracle.
Oh god.
I was buying it on, not Ether Delta, it was some fucking, like, IDEX. No, maybe not IDEX. I don't know. One of those, like, ETH only exchanges.
I don't even know what fucking Oracle is, mate, to be honest.
They predict the future.
Yeah, I thought so. Is it the Matrix?
Yeah, it's an old black woman who tells you would you have broken the spoon or the vase if she didn't tell you that there was a vase there.
Yeah.
No, they pass information between. Well, they do something.
As soon as someone says something like, my brain just goes, it like shuts down. As soon as someone says it passes information from X. I'm like, oh, I'm dead. I'm dead inside. Kill me. Kill me.
It's the same shit
Like,
as Link, mate. It's the same shit
It's-
as Link and Band, and I don't know why it
could
needs to be
not.
$44 though.
I could not. As soon as someone says that to me, I know that it's not going to change the world. I know that's not the answer to our problems. I just switch off instantly. When someone says a bridge, I'm like, oh god, it's over.
Yeah, take me to it. I'll jump off it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Okay, no.
I'm just not wired for the tech side. It just bores me to death, man.
I quite like it. Like, that was a
The only
fucking
reason-
terrible explanation, but yeah, it's
The only reason I slightly like ETH is because I've got this dense thought that I use it to buy NFTs. That's the only reason I think that's its use case for me. I don't know what else it does.
You mean altcoins with pictures?
Yeah,
Yeah, love a good altcoin with a picture.
I do. I still think NFTs has got. I don't know. I don't think we've seen the best of what NFTs can offer. It's just a case of whether they've already ruined its image and reputation already. That's the only issue. So much potential
Yeah.
with the NFTs.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
I
think
agree.
it hasn't been tainted by copy paste garbage like everything else.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of like, you know, I mean, just check a few of the Zach XBT threads where it's like they've run up like 20 projects, all the same guys, just like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, bang, 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 like 500,000 each time. Like, okay, like, I mean, obviously it's up to the people who mint, do what you fucking want with your money, etc., etc. But yeah, there's been a lot of them, and I still get like DMs from people saying like, "Oh, you've got a whitelist on this project." It's like, how are people still trying to like do this, like
Yeah.
now? Like, surely, like no one's got any money left to be spaffing it on like shit that got, you know, built on Fiverr. Like, I genuinely think some of the one-on-one art, I think all that kind of stuff is pretty good. Like, I still like the notion of rewarding artists and digital artists as well. Like, I think it's great, and I think all of that kind of side of NFTs is still relatively young, but yeah, nothing's gonna do well on a risk-off environment, is it? Just not particularly. Cash. I think I lied, by the way, when I said TRB at 10 cents. But it was fucking cheap when I bought it.
I think DAO's got some. I think DAO's a potential good sort of. I don't know. I think there's some untapped potential with DAOs as well, as far as like from a humanitarian sense. I don't know. I think it's a good platform based to like really sort of instigate change, community change. I think if someone structured it correctly, I think there's some potential there. Maybe I'm wrong, but
No, I agree. I mean, didn't Kobe actually do some work with the UK government on DAOs
yeah,
and their potential impact and how they can be like essentially legitimate forms of, well, essentially companies in the UK?
yeah.
I seem to remember like a tweet from him, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's pretty much as like real as you can get."
Yeah. I think there's some good potential there from a community perspective. They're just structured. The problem is they're structured right now, like everything else, to siphon money out of the system. Sadly, they've got no longevity. But if you structured one well and gave people a voice to like implement change, I don't know. I think some could be good there.
Yeah, Big Mags in the chat. It's because his name is Magistrate, and I obviously got quite confused. I can't read properly. It says DAOs are slow and useless, in my opinion, and I think that might just be the DAO that we are in, that we've done nothing with, that I kind of forgot about, to be honest. I think we've still got money in that DAO. He's in 4. What do you mean you're in 4, Magus? Bloody hell.
We just need people to start building altruistically, as some would say, as opposed to what can I gain from this, you know? Why is there no one really trying to do good? that isn't for personal gain. It's kind of sad, really.
Yeah, no, I completely get it, and but that's been a lot of the projects, right? And unfortunately, you don't tend to get many people doing the altruistic side until they've quote unquote made it themselves, and
Yeah.
that can be
Maybe,
after, you know.
I think that's going to be my bold prediction of the next market is uh, some some good built DAOs, but built for the right reasons, not to siphon money in a market that's sort of tired and losing value. Maybe the good stuff gets built when there's no value in it, really.
So you gonna build your own DAO?
I don't know.
Have we got a Jimtalbot exclusive here? Kitty DAO?
Maybe.
Actually, that probably fucking exists. So don't go out and buy a Kitty DAO token on Shitcoin Central, based off that, boys and girls. But no, I mean, yeah, experimenting with any kind of new technology. Like I think the whole DAO thing could work, but yeah, as Sluice said, it's just too early, and like everything else in crypto, we've just not got it right yet, really.
No. Anything built in a bull market's just, usually for the wrong reasons. So we'll see what happens in the bear market, the proper bear market, when everyone's bored.
Yeah, I think, when we get to a point where, like, on a weekly basis, Bitcoin looks like that, Bitcoin looks like fuck all. That doesn't.
Yeah, where you can't even see the candles.
Yeah, I don't care whether it's at 8K, 4K, 16K, I couldn't give a fuck. But when we've got, like, this is the price capitulation, we'll have that time capitulation, and who knows? Maybe the halvening will be the event that wakes it all up. I know quite a few people who were bullish on that as a catalyst. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Who do you think is spinning up these Ponzi DAOs? Gandhi? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, if people have done it and they can do it again and they can just keep doing it and they can keep making money out of it, like, yeah. Why wouldn't they? Can you please cover ES? No, this is a crypto stream. We only talk about magic internet shitcoins, I'm afraid. Although I still can't really get over that TRB chart.
There's always a shit coin. There's always one shit coin defying reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna take $100. I'm gonna load it onto Binance, and I'm gonna turn it into $10,000 in 2 trades.
If I buy it now, I'll cap it.
Please do.
I'll do it. Hang on, let me go on a shit account, and I'll show you if I'm in the money or not by the end. Does FTX have it?
I don't think so, actually. I think it's only Binance.
Ah, that's annoying.
Yeah, Binance, KuCoin, BitGet, Bybit.
All the top exchanges. Oh, Bybit's got it.
Yeah, Bybit's
Is it a perp or a spot?
Oh, it's got a perp.
Alright, let me buy some of the perp just so I can stop this rally. I'm only going to do like small amount. ERB. But I promise you it'll be the top.
Is that it? Right, we're capping.
Yeah.
We're capping TRB live on stream. This is not financial advice. Any trades you take are at your own risk.
Did that go through? What happened? Uh-oh.
What have you done? Have you crashed the market?
I just clicked buy and nothing happened. Hang on, let's try again. Oh yeah, here we go. Unrealized, underwater. I'm underwater. I bought the top.
What's your entry? If I might ask.
44.2. I literally bought the top of that last 5-minute candle. This current 5-minute candle.
Lovely. We'll we'll add this to the list of coins to short.
I'll scream if that is the top.
And we'll come back next stream and see how it's played out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's like from a 4-hour perspective, it's not quite as aggressive as I normally like, but one thing I love to do is fade that. Like, it's the whole Wall Street cheat sheet meme, but it fucking plays out quite a lot.
You know, when you get that flat bottom 4-hour candle spike up on the false breakdown, that's usually the short.
Yeah.
So I've definitely got the top, lads.
It's not far from printing that, to be honest. Not as aggressive as I'd like, but I wouldn't really want to be shorting this anyway, but
No.
Jim and Charlie Bog. Marusha, hello.
Yeah, well,
This motherfucker.
Hmm.
I miss your voice, my friend. Thanks for liquidity.
Oh, mate. I just want to prove a point.
No, you'll probably get a big wick, won't you? Just you'll buy it here, and someone will post on Twitter that Jimtalbot's just long TRB, and everyone, the bots will just go off and just fucking pump it 10%. T-Web in TRB, yeah. Yeah, if you want to do a stream after, Marie, I'll try and not be a boomer and host you.
There is no second best. There is no second.
But yeah, I mean, we've been cracking on for about an hour. We've got a generational top entry on TRB. We've said the market's fucked and prayed to the volatility gods that volatility doesn't die. Is there anything else? Any questions in the chat or anything like that? Or anything else you want to add, Jim? Any comments on the market or anything?
Not really. I think whatever trades you take, I think just reduce your targets by, like, you know, say you're targeting a $1,000 move, maybe trim that to by, you know, half or 60%, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, take profit.
That's what I'm doing, really. You know, take small bets, small incremental wins. I think we're in that stage of the market at the minute. No, saying that, we'll probably get 12% candle in like 2 hours.
Yeah, saying that, it's yeah, take profit. How do I get out of the shit show? I mean, you obviously weren't listening to the first part of the stream, Grant Stevenson, where we said that that we both made our excuses for checking the price of PTC, and Jim live watching his alerts get tagged.
Go get a job at TikTok where you can eat cookies all day, and drink mocha latte frappuccinos on ice or whatever.
Yeah, that's probably the play. But then I think if you're doing that, you're probably still going to be trading, aren't you? Because let's face it doesn't look like they do any actual work.
Unbelievable, man. They're all sat on fucking beanbags.
Yeah, the dream.
It is the dream. I'm salty.
Yeah, imagine getting paid like a couple $100 to sit on beanbags and drink mocha frappes. Like, lovely.
Yeah, and hypothesize whiteboard meetings, eating like avocados on toast and vanilla chais.
Charlie, stop executing orders. I'm shorting the shit out of TRB, mate.
Oh,
It's got to be done.
bro.
We're going to send this to 0. And then we're going to just clip. Jim's saying, I've just bought TRB at 44.20.
Yeah, like cut it.
That's
to where it, like, yeah.
That's it. Oh, so Jim, what's your entry on TRB? 44.20.
Oh, no, tell me.
Lovely.
What's GCR's new tweet? Is he just shorted TRB or something? He's watching the stream secretly? GCR. Which account's it on? He's got like fucking 10 accounts on him.
A sign of sec times. The second sits alone at the top of the FTX leaderboard. Ape season, but only for regulators.
That's funny.
That can't be right.
They'd probably max short ETH before
it actually
they
is.
into security.
That's fucking genius. Oh my god, that's fucking amazing. Name sec.
Have you seen number 11?
Gigantic Kasok rebirth, yeah. Fucking hell. Oh, whoever that guy or girl is, that's fucking genius.
That is funny.
They've done very well. Not only to be number one trader by P&L, obviously, but to have the presence of mind to call themselves the SEC.
It's probably GCR.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, it probably is just him, isn't it?
Which is just even funnier, actually. What a Chad.
Yeah, what a legend. You checked your WhatsApp? Yeah, it was actually my WhatsApp. It wasn't an order execution. I don't know what it was. I don't know who it was either. Yeah, it's almost like a subtle brag that I've got a WhatsApp message. But I've had WhatsApp open on it the whole time, and it's the only message I've got, so it kind of gives you an idea of how popular I am. So the event confirmed. Oh, I think you're going to be in profit soon, Jim.
Mate, if this works, I'm
Look at
done
that.
with crypto.
Well, now I've got a clip either way.
There's no second best crypto.
So if it pumps, you're leaving, and if it dumps, you're getting exposed as long in the top. Oh my god, guys, he lost a trade. He must be so poor. Right, well, I think we'll probably end it there then. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for all the follows. And thank you, Jim, for your time, your views, your opinions. As always, absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Likewise,
And
mate.
apologies that we bullied you into logging the absolute Pico top of TRB.
Mate, I reckon it's got another leg.
Yeah, probably does. It's just gonna do another 7% candle in 1 minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and until next time, I will leave a little song playing for your delighting delectation. And obviously, if you're not following Jim, which I'm sure you are, when's your stream this week, Jim? Are you doing one on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, check him out.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you all very much. Au revoir.
He's BTC Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie.